I just want to take the time to start, Anthony, by thanking you for chatting with us here at the Christian Beat, all about your upcoming Christmas project, and we'll see what else we talk
Mm.
about as well.
Yeah, I love it. Exactly. Okay, awesome.
So the greatest gift is coming later this month.
Yeah.
Do you want to just talk a little bit about how you pulled this project together, like how you went along selecting the Christmas
Mhm.
songs that you did and putting your own sound on it?
Yeah, what's kind of crazy is the album came about because I've worked in Hollywood like a worship leader. Love that. Obviously, that's my main thing. But a few
Hmm.
years ago, I got an opportunity in Hollywood, and it's kind of continued on. So I got asked to do music for three different Christmas films for major networks, and so I was in Christmas mode working on these films. And I was like, yo, you should just keep going. You're in the mode already. The band's here, the singers are here. So that's how the inception started. And so I obviously finished the movie project. And then I
Hmm.
circled back around with my team and we reimagined, re-recorded them. And so it was great. A lot of the songs that were written for scenes in movies. So in my head, I was, in Central Park or at Rockefeller Center with the tree lighting. So I was in that mode. That's how the album came about.
Yeah, because I know it's always funny when musicians talk and artists talk about recording Christmas albums because it's generally not Christmas season or
Exactly.
anything like it when they're
It's
doing that.
March. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But I had to get in that space and again, reading scripts and watching Christmas scenes and stuff, it had me in that space. Actually, I was on set of one of the movies I did for BET and they had so much Christmas decor and it was just I just was in that mode. So I just went ahead and kept moving.
Oh, that's great. Is there one that you knew a song, a Christmas favorite that you would just have to have on it, even if before you even knew of putting the Christmas project together?
Yeah, this is probably the most done Christmas song ever. Well, other than "Oh Holy Night," but I get asked all the time, "Will you please sing Mary Did You Know?" And I was like, "Yeah, but everybody does that song." But I that was one where I was just like, "Let me reimagine this a little bit." I don't think people want too much reimagination on Christmas songs. I want to hear what I know, but at the same time, yeah, that's probably the main one. But on there, there's a lot of classics, but just done with just enough to where it's fresh to listen to it again for the first time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is also wasn't your first release of the year either. You had already released another project earlier this year with Revive.
Yes, yes, I did. And it's again, I was working on my stuff and these other features simultaneously. So it was just kind of like, let's go. And once you're in that mode, I like to maximize like if I'm going to rent a studio in Hollywood for a few days, we're going to work every hour that I'm renting this thing. You know what I mean? So that was kind of the vibe I like and at this point in life, in ministry and just in culture in general, content is key. Like continuing, not taking big 4 year pauses between projects is actually very key. So it felt organic and natural, but yeah, we kept it going.
I'm curious since you were kind of working on those things kind of simultaneously in parts. Was there any bleed over for the different projects, or were you able to keep them more separate just for the fact that one was a Christmas project?
I think well, no, there's there's bleed over for sure. I try to keep it very, strategic, especially when I'm working for a network or when I'm doing I keep mentioning that. But if I'm working for a major network, I don't want them to feel any bleed over because that's just unprofessional. You know what I mean? For them to be like, wait, what are you doing? Like you're doing your album and ours.
And-
So, but with me,
Mhm.
with this Christmas album, it's literally I wish I could just play this for you. You'd be like, what? Um, I we did a live recording the day on like a Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we did the Christmas album. It was like boom, boom, like so there was a bleed. I mean, it was just bouncing back and forth. Other singers would sing one of the live worship songs, and then we'd be singing a Christmas song right after that. So yes, there's a lot of multitasking, you know.
Oh, that's awesome. Is there any bit of the reaction then that you got from Revive, from folks listening to the sound and the project that you think that they will also then see in The Greatest Gift?
Yeah, I think people respond really well to the live kind of in-person feel of the songs. My career is built on being in front of people live, not necessarily these recorded super polished albums. That's people respond well, but they want the live thing. So yes, so the response on Revive to some of the live music is what I carried over with more holiday sounding horns and stuff on this album. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And in addition to the new music, you're also out on tour right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
talk about everything going at once.
Yeah, there's okay. So everything going at once is obviously we talked about the Christmas album and Revive that came out, but I do a lot of philanthropic work with Food for the Hungry because we partnered for years, and so they asked me to be a part of that initiative on a tour called the Reunion Tour, which is like a really huge gospel tour right now. Kirk Franklin and Fred Hammond and Yolanda Adams. So I'm out with them, but then like this weekend I finish that and go fly out to lead worship with my sister Priscilla Shirer at some of our events or her events, which I get to be a part of with my sister. So that's happening simultaneously and super random, but I get calls. I've mentioned Hollywood a couple times to do projects, which is so great. I got introduced to Hollywood maybe a decade ago and have continued to work. And I did a project for Mr. Kevin Costner's company called Big Dreams. And I just produced an end credit song for a new series you'll hear about soon. But I was just wrapping that up when the tour started. But I just saw a press release on it. And it's like, Kevin Costner's new series is coming out, music by John Bon Jovi, Diane Warren, Anthony Evans. I was like, what is happening? So so that's so that's going on too simultaneously. And I like having a lot of irons in the fire, and I have a great team to help me not look like I'm scattered all over the place. So, but it's good.
How do you keep then the focus on your heart behind all of these different projects and making sure that you're staying grounded in that focus as you do whatever it looks like that you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, my blanket kind of a statement from myself is it doesn't matter what the conduit is. My objective is to show people the hope that I have and the love that I have for the Lord. And it doesn't matter the conduit by which I'm doing that. So that's kind of how I keep it consistent is my dad used to tell me, Anthony, you're not salt of the shaker, you're salt of the earth. So you being asked to do Hollywood things is a part of your ministry. It's a part of it. So go have a great time. Just don't compromise your faith. Like enjoy it. So that's kind of how I keep it consistent and it doesn't feel very disjointed and all over the place. I'm like, this is another platform by which you can share the hope of Jesus. That's it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I want to ask what's next, but I don't want that to make it sound like you don't have anything going on right now,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
we've
yeah.
already covered all that. So,
Yes, all that stuff is what's next. And then yeah, we're planning a tour with me and my sister in the spring. So that's I have the privilege of producing those. So I love we start to work on those now because they're produced by us. So
absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything that's on your heart in particular for those nights as you're starting to think through what that would look like?
yeah, I think my objective is to make sure that don't get caught up in producing too heavily, because sometimes the Hollywood mindset you have to make a divide. Like I, on the church side, my objective is to stay connected to the concept of if I was a wedding planner, the bride, my objective would be to make sure the bride has everything she needs, not to make sure that I look great as a wedding planner. So when I get into church and tour mode, which is where I am most of the time, my objective is to remember that Jesus said he's coming back for his bride, which is them. It's not the industry. It's not making sure this is slick. It is for them. So, what can you produce that makes sure that they have everything they need for today? So, that's my objective when it comes to the nights, especially with my sister who loves to just be in church and connect that way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I guess I'll just close then with one final opportunity for you just to share kind of what your current season is and how you want that
Mhm.
the music that you're releasing and the messages that you're sharing to just interact with those that could come in contact with it, whatever fashion then that may be.
Yeah, I think my current objective overall is to be as healthy as I can be emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, probably in the reverse order. Like, because I'm keenly aware that I am a master at being a professional Christian, and I for a long time played injured. Like I literally played injured. Like I was not well and I was out doing shows because I can, like an athlete that can wrap up a sprained ankle and just get out there and do it. I was doing that, but if you do that for too long, you'll create permanent injury. So my concept is to make sure that the overflow that people are getting on that 1 hour of a stage is from 23 hours off a stage of a day that are spent working on your health spiritually, emotionally, and physically, and not in being the great pretender who can get on stage and do the job. Like that is where I am right now, is to make sure I'm not quote unquote playing injured.
That's awesome. That's a great message to hear. I just want to thank you again for taking the
Thank
time out of
you.
your busy schedule to chat and wish you all the best of luck with everything that's coming up for you.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here with you. Thank you so much.